Aloha! We're back for part 3 of the World War II tank tier list. I'm joined by my esteemed friends Geo and Tankman.
Hello!
And today, we're going to be ranking the United States tanks. And this is going to be something. I can already feel it. Why don't we, I'm going to not do the Sherman 75 right away. Let's start with the LVT A1. And I'll talk about this. So this is landing vehicle tracked. It's got a 37mm gun. I don't believe we used it at all against the Germans, but against the Japanese, the United States used them fairly frequently, and they were pretty effective at providing combat support on the beach landings. They are massive. The armor's not great, but I mean, sometimes you just need a tank, and that's what the role it did. So it was okay in that regard. Now, notably, sometimes it would drown the crew, like most amphibious vehicles. So, in terms of armored vehicles, I'd say this is probably like a B tier. It's useful, but like you wouldn't want it all the time. It's very much a specialist craft. Geo, you have any opinions on the LVT?
It is an early adaptation of an amphibious tank. So I think that did fairly well, but just like I think that it is quite big as a target. So as a tank, it's not that great. Just put it in minus.
This sounds about right. I figured that's where you put it. Now, Tankman?
Well, I'm not really familiar with the performance of these kind of tanks against the Japanese, so I will take your word for it and I will put it in B tier.
Okay, so we got 2 Bs and a mid minus. So let's go ahead and put it at like the bottom of B. Alright, the LVT A3 is the same thing, except this one has the M8 Scott's 75mm howitzer on it. So I would argue it's just a bit better, because it can actually like deal with bunkers more efficiently than the 37mm gun. So I'd say this is still B tier, but way higher on the list for B tier. Gio?
Well, I prefer a Hadger over 37mm, I'm gonna be honest.
So where would you rate it?
I put it above the Valentine.
So still mid minus?
Put it in B, as long as it doesn't
okay.
end in A.
B. Alright, Tankman?
I will also put it in B.
Alright, so with 3 Bs, that's pretty much like the middle of B then. We'll put it right here. Okay, cool. The M22 Locust. Gio, why don't you tell us about this one?
F tier.
Do you have a reason
Okay.
why? Because I know that it should be an F tier, but I want to hear why.
Well, it is the same excuse as with the Tetrarchs, yeah, you know, like it's a paratrooper thing. As I think I've said this before, they were delivering it, it wasn't ready. Like it was delivered as an IKEA tank. Basically, you get the box and you have to build it.
Yeah, that's unacceptable for a paratrooper. And what year was it deployed? 1945 against what tank?
King Tiger.
Yeah, the Tiger II with a 37mm gun. I don't know about that one, Chief. I'm inclined to agree with you that this is F tier. Tankman, do you have a dissenting opinion?
No, it should be F tier. It's useless by the time it came out, and the idea of an airborne tank is just stupid.
Alright, the worst tank in F tier then. How about that?
Just like I want to say that it would have been a relevant design in the Battle of France.
Yeah, no, you got a point there. Tankman, why don't you tell us about the Sherman 105?
Sherman 105. Well, it's a Sherman with a 105, which was mainly used against buildings and stuff and bunkers. I think it was rather efficient at that job. So I would put it in B.
Notably, it did also carry heat rounds that the crew had access to. They didn't have a rangefinder in the same sense as other vehicles. The British complained about this when they used it. The way you were supposed to determine range is how big of a load you put in the shell. So, and then that would give you the range. Which is kind of funny. I really like the Sherman 105. I think it's pretty well armored. It's got a great gun for dealing with bunkers and the sort. I'd rate this A tier. Gio?
Well, let's say that it is the equivalent of the LVT-75. It's just a better Sherman. So,
It's different. Certainly.
Yeah, I guess it's different, but
Can carry a lot less rounds, for example, but it does have a bit more of a punch.
better against in.
Also,
infantry.
its anti-armor capability is a little less good, but I hold the opinion that tanks don't need anti-armor capability. They need anti-bunker capability.
I guess it could be like it could be like an urban unit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had for. Honestly, I would put it in A tier.
Alright, so that's two A's and a B. That means it's going to be in the upper echelon. Better than the KV-1L11?
Yeah,
I don't think it's better than the ZIS-5, though.
it's definitely not better than the Crusader.
That's funny. Alright. Tell us about the Sherman 76 here. Alright, so this is when Shermans were finally upgunned because of frequent crew complaints about not being able to get through Panthers and Tigers when they showed up. And what can you say except this could do it? And it had HVAP, which made it even easier. It's a good tank. The only problem is the 76mm gun lost a little bit of its bunker destroying capability. The HE shell wasn't as good as the 75. So it couldn't really completely replace the Sherman 75. I would be inclined to say this is probably a... well, it still had the stabilizer. And the crew comfort was pretty much the best in the war in terms of tanks. So I'd say like high B for me. Gio?
Solid platform, solid gun. But again, like it doesn't have armor. So
Now, it doesn't have armor. What does that mean? Because it has like triple the armor of a Crusader.
yes, but the Crusader like
It has like the same armor as a KV-1, and that's a heavy tank.
The Crusader is faster than the Sherman. Also, the KV-1 came out earlier. I would put it mid.
Mid, okay, sure. Yeah, right. Tankman, why don't you tell us what you think about the 76 Sherman?
Well, I think the 76 Sherman is pretty good. Like you said, after many requests, they finally upgraded the gun to be able to do some damage against the heavier German vehicles. And I think it did the job well. So I will put it low A tier, high B tier.
Alright, so an A, B, and a mid is definitely going to put it in B. I'm going to say that this is better than the KV-2. Yeah.
Sure.
Alright. The Matilda, that can hold its spot because it has a very unique spot in the war. Okay. Gio, why don't you tell us about the Jumbo Sherman?
Jumbo Sherman. It is a Sherman from Jumbo.
It definitely has the armor you were mentioning wasn't there. They fixed that.
It has the armor, but now it became slower. Is it the Jumbo 75 or the 76?
Yeah, we can count it as a 2-in-1 since they're both they're not separate.
Much better, but if I recall, it did have a few reliability issues because of the added weight.
The engine life was worse. That's the big deal, and the transmission
And the
was weighed down.
drivetrain
Yeah.
did have some things.
But as far as tanks are concerned in World War II, you probably wouldn't be safer than in a jumbo.
Would go like head on with the Tiger 1, the Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Would say it is better than an assault tank, so I think it could go to A.
Okay. Tankman, where would you put the jumbo Sherman?
Well, while the Jumbo Sherman is more highly armored than a regular Sherman, well, it kind of came a bit late with how the Germans progressed their guns and stuff, so I will put it in mid.
And I would put it in B tier. I think the armor's fine, gun's fine. The reliability issues are a little bad. It's a stopgap tank for a reason. They wanted to make a proper assault tank, but they didn't have an option, so they just upgraded to Sherman's armor, and the speed and the reliability paid a bit for that. So if we got A, B, and mid, then that's going to put us squarely in the middle. Is it better than the LVT-3? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it better than the ISU 152?
No.
Yes, because it has a turret.
Oh. That was a no and a no and a yes? Well, that's 2 no's, so I'm saying no.
Okay.
Bruh.
Alright. That brings us to the M8 HMC. Now, this is Tankman, I think, telling us about this one?
I think so, yeah.
So tell us about the M8,
the
Scott.
M8. The M8 is a mobile artillery vehicle on a rather fast chassis. Quite mobile, and the gun was alright. I'll put it in B tier.
Okay. Gio, any opinion on the M8?
Okay, so what they made, well, first of all, it's not be confused with the Greyhound because it's a different chassis.
Mm-hmm.
It has the chassis of a Stuart. I remember that the turret traverse is very slow in this one just because of the how they made and everything. Like maybe it was a power issue, I don't remember. Hard to use, maybe, but it was expandable. And those open tops, you know how that works. I would put it in mid minus, personally.
Okay, so Tankman, can you tell me where you rated it again?
In B.
Okay, so the M8 Scott, it's built off of an M5 Stuart chassis, so it's definitely got the speed. The 75mm howitzer is good. It can deal with dug-in positions fairly well, and it's mobile enough that it can be moved around where it's needed. I would say that this is a pretty solid vehicle. I'd rate it A tier. So an A, B, and a mid-minus, was that right, Gio? Alright, we're going to go ahead and put it at the bottom, like near the bottom of B. Is it better than the LVT? Yes. Is it better than a Cromwell?
Yes.
Yes. Is it better than the A13? Yes. Is it better than the Valentine? Yes.
No, it's not better. What the fuck? I said it's a mid minus. No way it's better.
Well, no, I'm saying it is better. Tankman, you're the other vote. Is it better than the Valentine?
Yes.
Alright, we'll leave it there then. Alright, and then this is erroneously called the M4 Stuart. That is incorrect. It is the M5 Stuart. There is no M4 Stuart. Tankman, why don't you tell us about the M5 Stuart?
Well, I believe the M5 Stuart was a pretty good light tank for its time. It was fast. The gun was fine for a light tank. I would put it in A tier.
I will say this. These were used near the end of the war. The M5 Stuart definitely undergunned with a 37 millimeter for a light tank. And not only that, but the 37 millimeter has pretty bad high explosive rounds, so it's not like it's providing very good fire support. In terms of recon, it's fast enough. Has a couple machine guns, so that's cool. But overall, it's not the most exciting light tank to me. I would rate this probably mid. Geo?
It's alright. The gun is like the 37
Mm-hmm.
recall. To be honest, it did have the same fate as a locust.
At least this one
So-
isn't paradropped, admittedly.
Yes, and also it does not arrive in a box. I mean, it does arrive in a shipping container, but
But that's excusable. Every tank from America is going to have to arrive that way. And
Definitely
usually
better
the
than
battle
Locust.
isn't on the shipping container.
unless you are in a convoy that's getting attacked by U-boats.
Oh, by the time that these were being shipped, the U-boat menace was basically dealt with.
Yeah. All point and mid minus.
Okay, so we've got a mid minus, and then Tankman, where'd you put it?
A minus.
Okay, so let's see. That's gonna put us in. Let's go with top of mid. I think that's a fair spot for it. All right, cool. Then we've got the M36 Jackson. The Americans troops loved this thing because it was an effective tank destroyer. It would 90mm gun could go through pretty much anything the Germans had, and if it couldn't, then they had some HVAP shots that could make sure it could. It also doubled as like regular tank rolls when it needed to, so it could destroy bunkers and machine gun nests. It is open top, but the German Luftwaffe threat was basically quelled at that point. Basically, you'd have to be worried about like if someone's going to throw a grenade in, or if a tank gets flanked, then the Jackson's in big trouble. But other than that, this thing is an excellent tank destroyer. I would say that this is probably A tier for the US. The only thing that really drags it down is the fact that it came in a little late into the war. Like, I'm pretty sure this was a 44 and 45 design. Gio, any opinions on the Jackson?
It's a pretty good design. Like we said, gun is effective. Armor is like from the distance you would be fighting at is decent enough, but it did have to go up against like a kicking tiger where distance doesn't really play a big role because the gun can just go through. I would put it in A plus personally.
Okay. And then, Tankman?
Yeah, it was a pretty good tank that was able to pen almost everything the German had at the time, so I would put it in A tier.
Alright, so that's 3 A's, and it sounds like we all think of it pretty highly. Is it better than the BT-7? Yes.
Yes.
Is it better than the T-34-57? Yes.
How about you
Yes.
just put it like an S tier?
Is it better than the T-34-76?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh man, that's... Alright. I think it can be the king of A tier. I don't think it's quite S tier because it came into the war too late, but it is a very good tank destroyer.
Fair enough.
Alright. Gio, why don't you tell us about the M3 Stuart?
I mean, it's a worse Stuart because it has a lower number.
Law?
I don't know. I'm not a fan of the short design because it's pretty close to the medium that the British had in the interwar period. That's what it feels like.
Well, I will say some facts about the Stuart. It's got a twin V8 engine, so it's quite fast. It was used in the desert campaign fairly frequently. The number one issue the M3 Stuart has is it's a gas guzzler, and it runs out of fuel fairly quickly because of the engine power. So, and it was really reliable. The British crews loved that about the Stuart. Yeah, those are some basic facts about it. Gio, where would you rate it?
Minus.
It also has the 37mm gun as the later Stuart, though at this point it's not as bad, considering the Africa fighting was mostly anti-tank duties. And then against Japanese armor, this thing did fine. Though notably against Japanese bunkers, this thing wasn't very good. So take it or leave it, really. Tankman, where are you at on the M3 Stuart?
Considering it's the same gun as the M5, but came earlier, I would put it around B tier.
I'm inclined to say that this tank, despite looking really cool, is not the greatest of all time. I'd put it probably like near the top of mid. Oh, no, it's definitely better than the M5 Stuart. Okay, yeah, I'd put it in B. So 2 Bs and a mid minus, it can go to the bottom of B. I think that's fair. Alright, Tankman, why don't you tell us about the M3 Lee and the M3 Grant?
Well, the M3 Lee gets a lot of shit for being tall, but some people fail to mention that while the gun, the 76, was in a casemate of sort,
75.
it was a very good gun at the time. And it made it did its job to destroy the German tanks at the time. So I would put it in B tier.
Not to mention that the Soviets and the British both loved it, and so it kept getting made despite the Sherman existing. So they could keep lend-leasing more of these over. So that's kind of got to speak to something. That and the reliability was superb, apparently, on an M3 Lee and Grant. Gio, any opinions?
Well, I would say that I feel like it had the same issues with 1828 and 1835, which is there is a lot of action going on because you have to use a lot of weapons at the same time. So there is gonna be some mismanagement.
Admittedly, the communications between the crew was much better in this vehicle than those.
Oh, but yeah, I forgot that like the this Russian. It has a Soviet quality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with still sort of struggle with that though.
So where would you rate it?
I would say they could be at the top of mid minus.
Okay, and then Tankman, you said B?
Yes.
I would be inclined to also say B for these guys. Just judging from the fact that the people who use them like them so much. So I wouldn't rate them very high in B. And judging by the fact that there's a mid minus means that it's not really that crazy. It's better than the Stuart though. Is it better than the LVT?
Yes.
I think so. Gio?
I mean, I would mid minus, so no, it's not better.
Okay, then we'll leave it there. Okay, perfect. Let's go next to the M26 Pershing. I believe it is me talking about this one.
If you wanna.
The Pershing, it's an okay tank. It's got a 90mm gun. Came out really at the end of the war, 45. It didn't really see much action. Not the greatest. I mean, it's no heavy tank. It's a decent medium. They made a couple of these. They were in Korea as well. I would really just rate this mid, probably, just since it was so late in the war. Gio?
We also have to remember that like it wasn't only used in the World War II, it was used in the Korean War, right?
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Yeah.
It is a World War II tank tier list, though, admittedly.
Yeah, just the only notable thing about the Pershing, remember, is about that one duel in Cologne.
Yeah, where it beat a Panther.
Yeah, like, well, not exactly. I mean, the Panther, it had its cannon, but it couldn't identify the Pershing because it was a new tank.
Yeah, they thought it was German.
Yeah, like, if they knew it was American, it would have been dead. So they just got lucky that the crew was not that experienced.
I mean, that's indicative of the late war, though.
mid to be. It could still push well enough. It would fit good if it fought Panzer 4. It would just go through, no worries.
Alright, so that's 2 mids. Tankman, what about you? Where are you putting in the Pershing?
Hmm. I'll put it in B tier. I recall seeing a video of how during the Battle of Cologne, Panther commander saw the Pershing and was like, huh, that tank can't be American, it's well made.
Okay, that's pretty funny. Let's go ahead and put it as the king of mid then. How's that sound?
Sure.
Alright, cool. Gio, why don't you tell us about the M24 Chaffee?
Excellent. All around, I believe it's. I think it is the perfect light tank of the war.
Yeah, are inarguably the best light tank of the war. Not necessarily for actions that it committed, but for design.
Yeah, I mean, it's got good armor, very good mobility, decent gun. I feel like it's got the 75 of the Sherman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stabilizer.
Well, you need like with the speed you have, you can just go around.
Smoke launchers. Good reverse speed. Pintle mount. You name it.
Yeah. It's perfect. I would put it in S tier.
Okay. Tankman?
Yes, I believe the Chaffee is one of the best light tanks made during World War II, and I would also put it in S tier.
Okay, so it doesn't really matter what I say at this point, it's still going in S. It did come into the war a little late, like 1945, I think. That's the only thing that's literally the only downside to it. So I'd say like top of A tier, but it doesn't matter because it's still going into S.
I think it is better than T-34-85, to be honest.
I disagree. Tankman?
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. And then that leads us to Tankman, why don't you tell us about the M10 Wolverine and the M10 Achilles?
Well, both of these tanks are rather similar to the M26 Jackson, but they came a bit earlier than the Jackson. So I will put it in B tier.
Okay. What about you, Gio?
Wolverine. It is a worse Jackson. Open top as we know. Fun with mid minus or mid.
Well, let's keep in mind where they were deployed. M10 Wolverine made it to Operation Torch, and it did just fine there. M10 Achilles, I'm pretty sure was a D-Day element. Did okay there. It's like a Jackson with a worse gun, but the gun isn't really that bad. It could deal with most German armor. I'd put this in B. So we got 2 Bs and a mid minus. It's going to put it near the bottom of B. It's definitely better than an M3 Stuart. Is it better than an LVT?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Is it better than the M3 Lee and the Grant? I would say so.
Yes.
Geo, is it better than the Cromwell?
No.
Okay, then we can leave it here. Alright, and there we go. We're up to the finale here. This is the 75 Sherman. And this is the best tank of the war. And I don't think it's arguable, honestly.
Here
And I
we go.
know Geo's going to disagree. However, this tank, when it came out in 1942, was the best tank in the world. It has a stabilizer, state-of-the-art. It has great armor. It has fantastic reliability. It's got good forward momentum. Verse speed's not the greatest in the world, admittedly. It's got good crew comfort. It was shipped and it fought in every single front in the war. From the moment it was introduced. Japanese basically couldn't come up with a counter for it. They didn't have anything good enough. The Germans,
Did they have
they
no-
destroyed a bunch of these, sure, but the Americans made so many it didn't matter. And the T-34 got destroyed a whole bunch in its S tier, so as far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing. The 75 millimeter, fantastic at the job of destroying enemy emplacements and machine gun bunkers. Okay at anti-armor, but that's not what a tank's job is. They had air support for that kind of thing, as Geo will probably note. So in my opinion, this is the definitive S tier. I would say even the top of the list. Now, Geo, feel free to give your argument for the Sherman.
First of all, well, we said that the Japanese didn't come up with a counter. They did, but they weren't able they weren't able to use it in time because they got nuked.
I mean, it was on the island of Japan and never actually fought against it.
Yes, because of then if you did land, then you would have fought it. Chinitu. What the? Well, the time came out, you could like if I had to compare it to like the top tanks its niche had at the time, German would be the Tiger One.
I think this came out before the Tiger one.
But like how much?
Like a couple months.
Okay. Then the German army at the time had like the Porsche Tiger.
Yeah, the Panzer IV F2 was basically the best tank they had.
Which could also basically go through the front.
It's the same though, both directions.
German it goes reliable. Give it that. It was okay at the start of the war, but towards like the end of it, it was more so used as cannon fodder. I would feel like they could put it at the front, and then they would keep like the better the tanks in the rear of the column or in the middle. Because as you know from the movie Fury, the first tank to attack in a convoy is the first one to cause the maximum confusion. If there was never a Tiger 1 or an IS-1, IS-2, this would be in S tier. But they did exist, so you could say that they started out as an S tier and then ended up in mid tier.
So where are you gonna put it, Big Dog?
I'll put it in a B.
Okay, and then Tankman?
Well, S tier.
Any particular reason?
It's the Sherman.
Yep.
Just that is the reason.
Yeah. Now, considering our early ratings,
No.
our earlier ratings, it's not going to go above the Chaffee because we agreed that the Chaffee is slightly higher.
Yes.
Although I would argue that the Sherman definitely did more than the Chaffee. It's not quite as good as a design. Yeah, there you go. So that's all the American tanks for today. I think that was a pretty good addition to the list. B tier is swelling up quite a bit. So yeah, cool. When we return, we're going to be looking at the German tanks. That isn't our final part, though, because we do have a special finale where we're going to rate like the minor nations like France, Italy, and Japan, and whatever tanks they used. So for now, though, that was America. Geo, thanks for joining. Tankman, thanks for joining.
No problem. Always a pleasure.
Alright.
Any takeaways from either of you?
No, it all went well for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'd
It's
say this
really
is nice.
American.
I'm a little surprised how high the Jackson was.
It's a good design.
Yeah. Alright. So if you like the content, consider liking and subscribing. And until next time, aloha!